Valerie. We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome everybody this evening to the Planning and Zoning Board. We have 5 applications this evening. And the first order of business will be with respect to the minutes of the August 26th meeting that the chair would accept the motion at this time. Okay, Lynn with the motion to accept as submitted. Is there a second? Over with the second. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed? 1 abstention. Okay, a couple of things. If anybody has their phones on, please turn the sound down so we don't hear the thing go off while we're trying to conduct respectful business up here. And as Valerie indicated, it's tough to hear in here, so the gentleman all the way in the back with the great-looking beard, if you can't hear us, wave your hand and we'll ask people to speak up, okay?
I can hear you.
Most do. All right, let's start off with application 3164. This is a minor subdivision, preliminary and final plat of the parent tract of 40 more or less acre parcel with agricultural zoning designation to be divided into 4 tracts consisting of 10 more or less acre tracts, all to obtain residential rural zoning designation. This is submitted by Catherine Vogel on behalf of Catherine L. and Donald E. Vogel Trust, who's requesting the zoning actions described above, located on a tract of land located in part of the southeast quarter of Section 15 and part of the southwest quarter of Section 14, both in Township 46, Range 30, Cass County, Missouri, and commonly known as 32208 and 32210 East 179th Street, Pleasant Hill, Missouri. Ms. Vogel, please come forward and tell us your story, please.
Well, as he said, we have 2 homes on the property now, and my husband passed away about 2.5 years ago, so instead of waiting till I die to let the kids move out there, my oldest son wants to build a house, and then we'll have another 10 acres later when my daughter decides to do so.
Okay.
And that's it.
All right, any questions, Ms. Vogel? Thank you. Okay, is there anyone here that'd like to speak in favor of the application? Is there anyone here that would like to speak against the application or have questions? Okay, Valerie.
The applicants have done everything that they've been asked to do.
All right. Okay, the chair will accept the motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve application 3164 as submitted along with the submitted planning board report respectively.
Okay, Mike has made the motion to accept 3164 as submitted. Is there a second?
Second.
Lynn with the second. Any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And Valerie, what is the magic date?
December 3rd at noon.
3rd floor?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Vogel, we're a recommending body, and so this application is going to be heard by the commissioners on December 3rd at noon on the 3rd floor. You need to be there to represent your application.
Okay.
But we have recommended approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can leave if you want. Yeah, you can go if you want. After your applications are heard, if you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's great theater if you want to stay. All right, go get dinner. All right, application 3165. This is a lot split of a parent tract of 19.97 more or less acres with the zoning designation of residential rural into a 13.88 more or less acre tract and a 6.09 more or less acre tract, both to retain residential rural zoning designation. This is submitted by Curtis Limbach on behalf of Memoree French, who are requesting the zoning actions described above on a tract of land located in the part of the northwest quarter of Section 19, Township 45, Range 32, and part of the northeast quarter of Section 24, Township 45, Range 33, Cass County, Missouri. It's commonly known as 7407 and 7409 East 227th Street, Peculiar, Missouri. Mr. Limbach, please come forward. Evening.
Good evening. My mother-in-law, who is also here tonight, she owns the property. My father-in-law passed away a few years ago, so she's the single owner, and she would like to divide the property into 2 tracts. My wife and I have already built a home on the 1 tract that was undeveloped. We moved down there to kind of help her keep the property up, and she wants to divide it now as opposed to later, so we can get it all settled, and have it all legal. I don't know what else Sorry, I'm new at this.
It's all right, it's that simple.
Okay,
Any questions, Mr. Limbach? Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Okay, anyone here like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here has questions about the application or would like to speak against it? Please come forward. We need your name and address.
I'm not against it, I just want to ask a couple
Please
questions.
sign in and talk to us when you get done,
All
sir.
right, thank you.
Your name, please?
Todd Livingston.
Okay.
I live right behind their property, which is fine. I don't have any problems with them doing whatever they're doing, but I just want to know, will they be part of the Lakeview Estates Association? I don't know that. They would. I don't know.
Okay. We'll ask.
Okay? And I just wondered,
Pardon me, Valerie knows the answer.
No, they won't be.
they won't be, because when I was on the board, I heard that they were grandfathered in. They don't have to pay dues, but any new property, I believe, would have to pay some dues.
It's not part of that original development. It was the parent tract.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just asking
Yeah,
some
no,
questions.
yeah, they wouldn't be.
Okay, well, I just wondered. I mow a lot out there, so I see things, so I just like, okay, well, is this the same as ours, or is it different? So,
Yeah. Yep, nope, it won't be a part of that.
all right, well, that's the only question I had.
Very good. Thank
So,
you.
other than that, I don't care, I just wanna go home,
right.
mind my own business.
There you go. There's the door right there.
No, I'm not leaving yet.
Oh, okay. Just a second. All right, anybody else would like to ask questions or speak against the application? All right, Valerie.
They've done everything they've asked, like you stated. They were actually, recently put a home out there with new on-site wastewater, for their home. But other than that, they've done everything that's been asked of them.
Okay. Mike, go ahead.
The school district says Archie, I believe it should say Peculiar. Tag.
That is correct. We will note that change.
Is that correct?
Yes, it is Ray Peck.
Okay. All right, is there a motion with respect to application 3165?
I'll make a motion to accept application 3165 as submitted along with the planning board report respectively.
All right, Owen's made the motion that we accept 3165, and is there a second? Which one wants it? All right, Mike. All right. Okay, any other questions of Valerie before we go? All right, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carries 5-0. You need to be at the commissioners meeting on December 3rd at noon on 3rd floor, sir. Yep. Okay, application 3166 is a lot split of a parent tract of 12.7 more or less acres with the zoning designation of residential rural into a 3.02 more or less acre tract and a 9.69 more or less acre tract, both to retain residential rural zoning designation. This is submitted by Royce A. Wilson, who is requesting the zoning action described above on a tract of land located in part of the southeast quarter of Section 24 and part of the northeast quarter of Section 25, Township 45, Range 31, Cass County, Missouri, commonly known as 25700 East 235th Street, Harrisonville, Missouri. Mr. Wilson, please come forward. Evening, sir.
Good evening. So I was just wanting to split my 12 and a half plus acres and give 3 acres to my daughter and son-in-law for them to build a house on. My wife passed away at the end of May, and this would have been something that she would have been thrilled to have grandkids living right next door. So I'm kind of carrying on some of the things she was hoping for and wishing for. So.
Very good. Well, I'm very sorry about your loss. Very sorry.
Appreciate that.
Any questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody here would like to speak in favor of the application? Anybody here would like to speak against or have questions regarding the application? Okay, Valerie.
They've done all that they've been asked to. They also have the soil test done on the 3 acres, which indicates it'll more than likely need a low pressure system, which is an in-ground system, and they're aware of that by getting that soil test done.
Okay, very good. Okay, any questions of Valerie? All right, Chair would accept the motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve application 3166 as submitted along with the planning board report.
All right, Lynn has made the motion to accept 3166 as submitted. Is there a second? RJ with the second. Okay, all in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Be here on December 3rd at noon, 3rd floor to represent your application, sir. Thank you. Okay, application 3167. It's a subdivision preliminary to be known as Prairie Ridge Estates. It's a parent tract of 76.65 more or less acres with the zoning designation of agriculture to be divided into 10 lots consisting of 4 5 more or less acre tracts and 6 8.94 more or less acre tracts, all to obtain residential rural zoning designation. This is submitted by Gerald D. F. Tink on behalf of Cleveland Land and Farm LLC, who are requesting the zoning action described above located on a tract of land located in part of Section 5, Township 44, Range 33, Cass County, Missouri, commonly known as 26022 South West Line Road, Cleveland, Missouri. Mr. F. Tink. I didn't know it was you behind that beard, sir.
I'm sorry, what?
I didn't know it was you behind that beard.
Behind the beard?
Good to see you.
Well, thank you. Good to see you. I'm Jerry F. Tink. I'm an attorney who represents Cleveland Land and Farm LLC. And my client has some experience in developing land. The proposal is there will be lots that are no smaller than 5 acres. Some of the lots will be about 9 acres, some will be 5, but none will be less than 5 acres. And my client has submitted a plat, topographical maps, hired an engineer to do these things. They've talked to the Department of Natural Resources about water runoff, and there's not going to be any problem with water. They talked to the Public Water Supply District number 7, and they said there's adequate water supply for the area. And they talked to the Highway Department about getting a permit, for what they do to hook up to the road and work in the right-of-way. So it's going to be a good development. They're going to be working on covenants and restrictions to make sure that it is a good development that is appropriate for the area. And so we're asking for approval.
Okay, any questions from Mr. Epstein regarding this 76 acres?
Okay, well, thank you.
Yep. Okay, is there anyone here who'd like to speak in favor of this application? Please come forward and identify yourself.
Good evening, lady and gentlemen. My name's David Seba. I live in the area and have for most of my life. I feel like the development, I'm helping clean up the area because the land's been more or less vacant. It's had a little bit of agricultural activity on it, but more or less vacant for some years. So I'm involved in cleaning the project up. But it's conducive to the area, what's surrounding there, and kind of what's going on over in that area. So I think it'd be good for the county, and certainly nothing that it's out of the ordinary of what's going on in that area. So I'm in favor of it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Okay, anyone else would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone would like to speak against or have questions? Please come forward, sir, and identify yourself.
Hello, my name is David Carlson. I live to the adjacent property that was just described as that David and Mr. Eftink is trying to get annexed or get rezoned. I live to the north side of it for a quarter of a mile off of 259th Street, all the way up to Glenwild Cemetery and then to West Line Road. The piece of ground that he is describing, the split on it, I don't have a problem with it being maybe split up to a small split, or what the county designates as a semi-split, like it would be 3 20-acre tracts, but 10 splits on it where there are going to be 9 access points off of the gravel road off of 259th and then off West Line Road. Currently, the gravel road I struggle at getting people to come out there and maintain the road. It is always in terrible condition. That is something that the county's problem necessarily, but you go start putting 10 more houses on that gravel road, the traffic will be even worse. It'll be terrible. I'm a small farm across the road from it. All of the neighboring properties to the east, to the south, to the west, and then me to the north are all agricultural pieces that have got 160 acres to the east, I believe, with it's a sod farm. And then me to the north where I have 159 acres. And then there's an individual named Bruce here who has 30 acres across from it, and Walt and Mary Chadwick that have 25 acres to the west side of Glenwild Cemetery. And along with Jesse Yoakum on the south-hand side of it that has 67 acres. All of us are zoned agriculture around that neighboring area. It is not something we want in our community. We do not want 10 houses right in the middle of it. The ground to the south of that, to the south of that area, they split it up into 20-acre tracts, 30-acre tracts. They're not 5-acre plus. the volume of traffic coming down our road, the D highway, there's one access point for only one place on that map shows that there will be an access point off of D highway. The S-curves are right there. It is very bad to get on and off the road there already with the S-curves. I imagine MoDOT will give them an access point, but out of the 10 splits on it, only one is highway access. The water line that they say is adequate. It is a 6-inch water line that runs across my property. The water company has an easement on the north side of 259th Street. It is 6 inches. They said that they could attach onto that and that would be no problem. But they will be, for all 6 of those houses that are on that, or 7, I guess you would say, will have to access my property to tap into that main. So it directly affects going through my fence and tearing up my fields, that as such. I heard Mr. Efting said it would be, and David said it would be good for our community there, and I mean, and also what they said, Mr. Efting said that David is knowledgeable about doing developments. I would like to know like what other developments he's done, and then also if it's good for the development, him cleaning it up out there. I do know that the fire department has been called numerous times on the property lately, as recent. Somebody called me and asked me if my house was on fire, and I was like, no, why? And they said, well, there's a big fire out there, and David lit the barn on fire, and the fire department showed up and had to shut it down and put water on it and made him clean it up, I guess. But if it's good for the community and good like that, I mean, burning tires, black smoke, whatever it was that he was burning, from my understanding with the county and with the fire department was that he said he was burning pallets, but they come to find out that he just lit the barn on fire and burnt it. So if that's what our good community is going to look like and he's cleaning it up, I disagree. That black smoke rolled all across all of our farms out there. So as for moving forward, I don't see anything good about it. Like I said, I don't disagree with a semi-split on it, where you have maybe the 3, but as for the 10, every landowner around it is in disagreement with him that they do not want it to happen. They do not want that to our community. So that is it. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Carson. Appreciate it. Okay, is there anyone else who would like to speak with respect to this application?
Good evening. My name is Bruce Tedrow. I actually own property just right adjacent to where this project is being proposed. I purchased 10 acres to build a house on for my family and potentially retire there. The reason why I went to that area was because most of the neighbors and housing, everybody, all the land was basically 10 acres or above. So what this proposal is dividing it up into smaller lots, which I think that's going to be, I don't see how that would be good for the community. And I just would, I think that the whole idea is the community to be to where you have enough property to be able to enjoy your life. So I am opposed to this. Thank you.
Mr. Taylor, how long have you lived out there?
I haven't moved out there yet. I plan on
You don't live
building.
there now?
No, I don't live there now.
That's all
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else like to speak or have questions about this application? Okay, Mr. Epting, we have a few questions that need to be answered, so please come forward and address them.
Is it Tetro? Bruce Tetro?
Bruce Tedrow.
Well, we could talk about property rights, and you can't cut off and say you can build a 10-acre lot or 15-acre lot, but you can't build on a 9-acre lot. Okay, I was going to say we could talk about property rights, and in this country, you can't tell somebody that they have to build on 10 or 15-acre lots, and they can't build on a 9-acre lot or an 8-acre lot. I think that Cleveland Land and Farm LLC will do a good job. They have done everything the correct way. They've submitted everything they need to submit. And there may have been, as Mr. Carlson said, there was a fire, but that's not going to happen again. People are going to build houses. They're not going to be burning out there. So that's just maybe a one-time incident. That's not a reason to stop the development. And it is good for your community to have, good houses come in with 5 to 10 acre tracts of land, as opposed to having a bunch of, apartment buildings or trailer houses and things like that. This is better for the community. And I ask that you approve this.
Did you say you met with the road district or anything? Any conversation with the road district?
My client met with the State Highway and Transportation Department.
Okay.
And talked to them about getting a right-of-way permit. I don't know what all they talked about.
Pardon me?
I know they talked to them. I don't know what all they talked about.
And there was, Mr. Carlson had some question with respect to water line. It's a 6-inch, which most of us in Cache County would just love to have a 6-inch water line. How did your conversation go with the water district?
Again, it wasn't me. It was my client that talked to the water district. But they got a letter from the water district, Public Water Supply District
Mr.
number
Seaver,
7.
your client?
He works for my client.
Who's your client?
Cleveland Land and Farm
Who owns
LLC.
Cleveland Farms LLC or whatever it is?
Let's see, there's Adam Vandosky, Don Vandosky, James Kopp. And they're the ones who have experience in developing things of this nature.
Okay. You said they have met with the water district?
They
Your
are
clients?
Yeah, they've communicated with him. I wasn't involved.
Yeah.
I'm just the attorney. I don't get involved in that kind of stuff. But
Well,
they've talked to
sometimes
him.
I need to know the answers to that kind of stuff, okay? When
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here trying to make a decision with respect to your property rights.
Right.
If you're not aware of that conversation and the fact that it went through, I'm good with that, but is that it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a letter from the water department. It's saying there's adequate water supply.
All right, any other questions of Mr. Epting?
Can I have a response to?
No, sir, you cannot. Adjacent land, lot size. All right, I think we've got them all addressed.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, Valerie, what's the story?
This is just a preliminary plat. They've done what's been required of that. As far as surrounding property, the property to the north of 259th actually annexed a couple years ago into the city of Cleveland.
Yeah.
The property to the south is a subdivision. The properties to the west are also a subdivision. We do have a letter from the water district stating that they can provide adequate water based on the lines that they have in that area. There was an engineer that did a stormwater analysis on the property as well, saying there would not be an increase in runoff with the advent of this development.
Okay, sounds good. You guys have any questions of Mr. Epting? or Valerie before we vote? All right, Chair, we accept the motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve application 3167 as submitted by the planning board respectively.
All right, Obi's made the motion to accept 3167 as presented. Is there a second? RJ with the second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion carries 5-0. Be there December 3rd at noon, 3rd floor.
Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. You got that date and time?
Yeah,
Okay. You're welcome to attend that meeting also. Okay.
thanks, sir.
All right, application 3168, lot split and rezoning of a parent tract of 21.69 more or less acres with the zoning designation of agriculture into a 14.84 more or less acre tract and a 6.85 more or less acre tract, both to obtain residential rural zoning designation. This is submitted by Dakota Chapin on behalf of Robert D. Knight, who are requesting the zoning actions described above on a tract of land located in part of the southeast quarter of Section 18, Township 46, Range 31, Cass County, Missouri, commonly known as 17620 Deer Creek Lane, Raymore, Missouri. Ms. Chapin? Mr. Chapin. Apologize. Good evening to you.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of my client, Robert Knight. I'm his real estate agent, and he purchased this property several years ago, and it's finally just come to time that he wants to build, but he has no desire to have the full 20 acres to build his primary residence on, and wants to obtain the 6.85 acres, and we currently have a contract with a buyer to purchase the northern 14.84 acres. Thank you.
Any questions? Mr. Chapin? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, is anyone here who'd like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone here who'd like to speak against the application or have questions? Valerie?
They've done everything that's been asked of them.
Okay, the chair will accept the motion at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve application number 3168 as submitted along with the planning board respectively.
Okay, RJ has made the motion to accept 3168 as presented.
Second.
Second by Lynn. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. December 3rd at noon, 3rd floor, your application will be presented for final approval, or final vote, excuse me. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Valerie, anything for the board?
I have nothing.